Well, g'day, and welcome back again to ZhaoQing for the second time today. So we've just been to the Inkstone Museum, and we're now walking across the new bridge here, which is going to take us over to GaoYao. We're just going to do a quick walk on our way back home through GaoYao, and then we're going to come back over the other bridge over here, back to our school, which is, I can't even see the building, it's behind here somewhere. So, this is a new bridge. It was basically under construction when I arrived here 6.5 years ago. It was finished probably 6 months later. The main road along the edge of the river here was all done at the same time, so all of this roadway was closed off while I was here, and yeah, it all opened together about 6 months after I arrived. So as we look on the bridge, we have traffic cameras up here. They'll be monitoring all the traffic. We watch as a car comes past. Have we got something coming? Okay, there's a car coming now. As the car comes past, you'll see the strobe lights flash as they take a photo. Come on, car. So yeah, they're monitoring traffic. You very rarely see traffic police here. A lot of it's done with cameras now. They'll pick up if you're not wearing a seatbelt or if you're on your phone while you're driving, all that sort of stuff. This stone here looks to me like the same sort of stuff that we saw in the Inkstone Museum. So they've made a big monument there. I can't tell you what the writing says. And then up towards the main part of the bridge, we have these two big suspension towers, which they're all lit up at night time. They look spectacular. They'll have writing in the lights and stuff, but yeah, it looks really good. If I remember, I'll try and dig out some photos. I do have some good photos of the bridge at night time, so we'll see how we go. Up on the hill ahead of us, I don't know how well you can see that, there's a tower up there. We're not going to get up there today, but we may get back another time. So there are a lot of these towers around. If we turn back around, we have another one of them just here on the riverbank. Yeah, there's a number of them around, so they're from old times. I don't know how many of them are like really old or whether they've been rebuilt. There's quite a bit of shipping happening on the river today. It looks like it's fairly busy. And yeah, as we were walking here, we've had a massive thunderstorm came through. A heap of rain dumped on us. Really strong winds were blowing. I was going to try and get out the camera, which I don't know how well you can see this, but there's actually a few clouds sitting in the mountains up in front of us, which is absolutely spectacular. Yeah, I was going to try and pull out the camera and take some video of the rain because it was really belting down, but with the wind I just couldn't hold my umbrella steady. There was no real good way to get out of the rain to keep my camera dry, keep my phone dry. So we'll do that next time from a safer vantage point. So we've got the umbrella handy in case it does decide to dump on us again, but it looks like it's all blown away, sort of heading off this way. See a few of the dark clouds sitting over the mountain there. So basically on the bridge here we have 3 lanes of traffic each way. It's fairly quiet at the moment, but come 5 o'clock this roadway will be absolutely jam-packed. A lot of people heading either back home to GaoYao or back home from GaoYao over to Guangzhou. A lot of people sort of move between the two. And then on the river, if you like, where are they? I think down around here you can actually catch a ferry and get a ferry over to the other side of the river. That costs you around about 5 RMB or $1 in Australia. So it's very cheap. Takes maybe 10 minutes to get over the river. Just trying to see if there's a ferry running over at the moment. No, there's not one actually out in the river at the moment. But they run pretty regular every 10 or 15 minutes. There'll be one crossing over. So you never have to wait long to catch a ferry. So we're going to basically head down, take a walk through this little village area here. Then there's another bridge over there, across there. And then there's a shopping area through GaoYao. Big long street with lots of shops. So we're going to head through there and then off to the bridge over at the other end of the town site there. So we'll shut up now. We're going to play the camera a bit more speed and get you down to this village a bit sooner, and we'll talk more when we get there. Stick around. So here down below us, see a little fishing boat down there. There's a couple more of them over this way. Very traditional boats. They're still, made of timber. Very traditional style. They've not really moved on to the modern aluminium or fiberglass or anything like that. They still use these traditional boats, which is good to see. Good to see them holding on to some of their culture. I don't know how financially smart that is, but I do like the way they just, over the years, they've worked out how to do things the best way with the materials they've got, and they're happy to just keep doing that. So this boat in front of us here, you can see the man is just pulling up a load of fish in a net. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. It's going to be hard to get a good shot. But yeah, he was just pulling up his net, so he's obviously caught a load of fish. So you see the signs here with the G80. So that's basically signifying that's one of the major highways which will lead between different cities. So the G80, I believe, is the one that we took out towards Yunfu. It ends up out that way. I think that was G80, but I couldn't be sure. Yeah, there's a lot of highways, a lot of stuff, a lot of big main roads. They've now got a very substantial sort of toll road network now, which is fantastic. It's relatively cheap, but you're basically straight through, no traffic lights, no. The traffic just flows beautifully, except for holidays when you can take all day to get to GaoYao, which should be an hour and a half trip. But during the vacation times, they can get very, very busy. The infrastructure here. So we look back on this bridge. This is quite a substantial bridge. It's another of the things that really surprised me when I came here, especially the first time I went to GaoYao. I went on one of the buses over to GaoYao, and these sort of raised roads like this in GaoYao, they're 8-9 stories high. So we're driving past apartment buildings, and we're driving past apartments that are, you know, 8 or 9 floors up, which I don't know, if you come from a city, maybe that's sort of fairly standard and fairly normal for you, but for me, coming from a small town, I couldn't imagine living, you know, 7, 8 floors up on a high-rise building and having a road going past outside your window. So we're basically going to take this little track through here, through this little village area. There's a couple of little interesting things to show you in there on our way through, which I always like when I walk through here. So let's get down there and we'll talk to you some more. So just looking here, looks like we have more construction getting underway here. So I'm not sure what they're looking at building, but it's both sides of this pathway. And we have, well, you can't really see it now, but you just see the yellow arm, an excavator over there doing some digging as well. So looks like there's another big project getting underway here sometime soon. We'll have to keep an eye on that over the next 12 months and see what happens, what goes up. Yeah, construction never stops here. There's always stuff going on. It's I'll have to introduce you to some other channels who do things. You know, there's channels I watch here on YouTube which cover a lot of infrastructure projects and stuff like that in China. And yeah, some of the stuff that's going on is absolutely just mind-blowing. So as we get down, I can smell it already. As we get down in here, hopefully we can find, so in a lot of these places they're actually making incense sticks. So when people go to the temples and stuff to do their worship, they'll put incense sticks down as an offering. They'll also do things, you know, on special occasions. You get people putting things just out on the street outside their house. They'll have offerings and stuff like that, which, yeah, they just do on the street. And yeah, so incense sticks are very, very commonly used around here. And okay, one of the places they make them is over here on the left, but we're normally, I think, a little bit further up, but the road over there has been closed off, so we might not be able to see them. But it amazed me the first time I sort of came over here when I first got here. It's just tables and tables and tables of incense sticks laying out in the sun, drying off. It was, yeah, phenomenal. But we'll see if we can find any of them up here for you. Okay, here on the right we have a little medical centre. So they probably specialise in a specific type of problem, but it's hard to know what that might be. I was going to try and get across the road there, but it's a huge big puddle. We might still do that. I'm just going to try and duck back. There's a little alleyway down here. We're going to go have a little duck through here and see what we've got down in here. Area. So GaoYao's an area I haven't spent a lot of time in here. Not near enough, sort of. I used to come over here a bit. Me and Peter used to ride our bikes over here occasionally, but with COVID happening, it all sort of got put to a stop. Early in the COVID situation, they actually had a few cases over here, and it was it was a Sunday night, and as soon as they sort of discovered these cases over here, they shut the bridges and GaoYao was isolated, and we had a number of teachers who were over here to have dinner and stuff. You know, there's a lot of good restaurants and stuff over here. They'd come over for dinner on the Sunday night and ended up trapped here for a few days, you know, so they couldn't come to school, stuck in a hotel. I think some of them did online classes, but a lot of them were just stuck and couldn't get back home. It didn't happen, like that only happened the one time. Like most of the time we weren't really affected in ZhaoQing by COVID, apart from the travel. You know, you couldn't sort of get out to other cities and stuff. Or you could, but it was difficult. There was a lot of hoops to jump through. So yeah, a lot of the time we just stayed at home, didn't do much of anything, just stayed close, especially being a foreigner. While a lot of people had no problem traveling, being Chinese, they had, you know, proper Chinese ID cards and stuff. Being a foreigner, not sure of the language, all that sort of stuff, we're going to head down this way. And not having Chinese ID card, traveling on a passport instead, just traveling was very, very difficult and very dodgy. If you're in a major place like Guangzhou, Shenzhen, where there's a lot of foreigners anyway, travel wasn't so bad because they're sort of used to dealing with that. But you know, like with ZhaoQing, I went off to Hezhou over in Guangxi province with a friend of mine. She was bringing her nieces back to ZhaoQing, so I went over with her, stayed a few days there, had a look around the place, and then coming back into ZhaoQing, even though I'm sort of registered as living in ZhaoQing and stuff, they didn't want to let me back. You know, when we got off the train, coming in the train station, we had no problem at the other end, even though it was a much smaller place, but it's a different province, so they had different rules. And yeah, coming back into ZhaoQing, that was a bit of a mission, trying to get permission to leave the train station. Eventually they gave up and let us through, but yeah, we weren't sure. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get back home for a little while, so after that, just stay home. Okay, we are now at this little riverway. I think our bridge is off to the left here. Okay, we have scenery of embankment, 3D ground painting lotus pond. Okay, we'll keep up on the roadway. We're not going to get right down the bottom, but we can see this is that little offshoot of the river. So there's a lot of fishing boats and stuff down here. And then, okay, yes, and then, so there we've got the main river through there. So the bridge must be up this way because it's not down that way. In fact, yes, I can see it through the trees there. So we're on the right track. So see down here on our right, there's a lot of fishing boats down here. We might have to come down and do a video sometime, get down, actually have a look at the fishing boats, have a look at what sort of equipment they use. A lot of the boats are just net fishing. Someone's put up a big tarpaulin here, keep things dry. Oh, they've got a little stall here on the left. So yeah, okay, there's all the school kids down there. And then this here looks like a canteen. So that must be their canteen. Yeah, okay, we can see lots of school kids heading down towards the canteen. So it must be dinner time for those in the school. I'm not sure, looking at those kids, whether it is a middle school or a high school. I've got a feeling it may well be a high school. Look over the fence here, basketball rings and stuff. So this is the back of that school that we were looking at. If we look up on the verandas here, you see all the school uniforms hanging out after they've been washed. So they're obviously dormitory buildings. And I think that new building that we saw would actually be classrooms. But I could be wrong, I haven't been in there, but that would be my best guess. Have a music shop. So we've got a few guitars, a cello in there, a couple of traditional Chinese instruments, pianos. So probably a shop and a music school. So a lot of the music shops double up as music schools. Most of the music shops are owned and run by pretty good musicians who also teach. So they'll have sort of the instrument shop downstairs, and then you go upstairs and they'll have little rooms for doing lessons and stuff. Some of them also have like band practice rooms. So a couple of times we've done things with students from, have another type of factory in here. Can't really see what they're doing, but they're playing around with, looks like metal something. We'll have to come back when we've got more time and have a better look around here. What was I saying? Yeah, so we've done a couple of music things with students at our school, and a couple of times we've actually gone off to one of the music shops down the road from our school. Here we have, so those incense sticks we were talking about, here we have one of these little, just out the front of the shop, they just have a little thing to honour whatever relatives or whoever they're honouring. Yeah, and we'll go off to these music shops and hire one of the band rooms and just go and set up in there to have a practice. And they have microphones, amplifiers, drum kit, all the stuff you need already sort of sitting there, ready to go. Okay, so you see the road here is all brickwork as we come through here, so I've got a feeling at busy times they actually shut this down to cars. It's just foot traffic, so weekends and stuff it's just pedestrians. So we have a cake shop here. Oh, look at some of these cakes in here, beautiful. Look at that, very nice. There's a nice shop up here somewhere. Actually, I came with a student. She bought me a present in one of these shops. We'll see if we can find that one and pop our head in. They had some really cool stuff in there. So So these girls in front of us here with the blue, so they're from the school that we just walked past. That's the same uniform that they were wearing in there. So this one's just gone into this little shop to pick up some food. So I'm not entirely sure what the deal with that school if students do have to stay on, like live on campus, and they go out to, you know, do things outside. A lot of, there we go, we've got another group of students in that little restaurant there on our right. So a lot of the schools, when you get to high school, the students are required to live on campus. But I'm not sure if that's all of them or just some of them. I don't know exactly how the rules work there. So we have a little convenience store here. Fruit and veg stall up here. Well, fruit I can see, not so much veg. So there's another thing, in Australia, so over on the left here you have your veggie markets. So in Australia, you know, you have fruit and veg shops. Your sort of greengrocers do fruit and vegetables, whereas here, generally they either do fruit or they do vegetables. It's not often you find places that actually do both. It's quite rare. Oh, look at this multi-tier cake here. Oh. So they do go all out when they're doing cakes. It is quite amazing. Okay, we're going to cross the road here. So this little shopping street that we're in sort of carries on. It goes through a lot of these, crosses over a lot of these side streets and carries on straight through. So let's just get through here and see what we've got in our next little section here. So again on the left here, another fruit shop. So yeah, it's still all fruit, no vegetables in there. Ahead of us, more fruit. And then on the right here, we've got our veggie shop. Okay, here we have the hairdressers. Another hairdressers. It is very quiet. So we're here, it's Monday here today as we're doing this. I normally come over here on a Saturday. It's my sort of common day. I've always come over and the place is always teeming. So it's very, very quiet today in comparison to what I normally see. What's this building on our left here? This looks like a little library. Let's get over the road a little bit closer and have a look here. So we see a lot of books in here, and then tables and stuff for sitting down and having a read. More books down this end. So yeah, it looks like just a little sort of open public library, which is very nice. Okay, more veggies selling on the street down here. Okay, over on the left, okay, these guys are selling dumplings and things like that, so those pots will all be steaming dumplings in them. And then all these flowers you see out in the front basically is celebrating the opening of a new store, so that'll be a new shop. He's selling meat and stuff in there. Butchers, fan shop. Okay, we have looks like a kindergarten on our right here. And then we have more vegetables on our left. Eggs and rice, and then another hairdressers. There's a lot of hairdressers in this place. A lot of people wanting their hair cut. Another hairdresser's up here. So all the hairdressers have these lights out the front of their shops, so they're easily distinguishable. And then on the right here, instead of shops, they've got sort of more stall type things. So I guess people can come rent them for, I don't know, a week or a month or however long they desire, and operate out of them and then disappear. So, you know, they might pick up, people might buy a heap of stuff from a factory. Maybe they get hold of factory seconds or something. They'll have a huge pile of them and they'll just come and open a stall for however long it takes to get rid of their stuff, and then shut up, someone else will come in and take over. What have we got here on the left? Looks like cigarettes and tea and stuff like that. Another little vegetable store here. On the right here we have a bike shop. So did tell a story in another video of me trying to find a bike big enough for me. A lot of these shops have a lot of bikes, but they're all sort of kid size, and even adult bikes. I'm a bit taller than your average sort of Chinese, so it can be difficult to find a suitable bike for me here in China. It's been quite a mission. Okay, we're crossing another road. We're into the next segment of this street. Okay, so over here, that sort of shop with the red sign there, that's ice cream shop. They were non-existent when I first came to ZhaoQing, and now they're just everywhere. There's lots of them. They've really taken off. They've really done really well. Always got people in them. I did hear they opened a store in Sydney, I believe, about a year ago, and apparently there were huge queues of people waiting to get in. So they must do a pretty good job. So looking down, there's not much on our left here. So on our right, we've got bakery. We've got another hairdressers. Next door to another hairdressers. Next door to another hairdressers. There's 3 hairdressers in the space of 50 meters. That's amazing. It's just, there's so many people here. They just need all of these shops. It's, you know, when you're used to coming from a small town, it's amazing how many people all live in the same place. It's just mind-boggling to me. Okay, we have a shoe shop here, another bike shop. Shoes are very, very difficult for me to buy here in China. So I think I've mentioned this before, but generally the shoe shops only stock up to size 44, which in Australia is maybe a size 10 in men's. I don't know if men's and women's is the same in Australia. I don't know, I can't remember. But yeah, I need at least a size 11, sort of verging onto a size 12. So I can't walk into a shop and buy a pair of shoes here. I have to order shoes online, which is a real pain because I don't like buying shoes without having the ability to try them on first and make sure that they fit properly and stuff. So it was a bit hit and miss when I first got here. I wasn't really sure what size I needed to buy. I got on websites and said, okay, what size 11 Australian, what size shoe would I need to buy in China? and I got various differing answers. So I had to take a punt. The first shoes I bought online were way too tight, so I had to bump it up a size for the next pair. We eventually got it right. But it's the other thing with Taobao, which is the shopping app here. Once you buy clothing, the app sort of remembers what size you buy, and as you buy more, it'll fine-tune that and learn the sizes that you need. So if I put in, shoes, men's shoes in Taobao, the first things that come up are things that are actually in my size, which is really good. Makes it very convenient. I don't have to scroll through pages and pages trying to find something appropriate. So in our right here, we have a supermarket in here, hidden away. I haven't been in that supermarket before, but it looks pretty nice. Looks like we have another kindergarten on our left here. And then have another bike shop here on our right. And then here's a shop. So they've got lots of swimming rings, life jackets, all that sort of thing there. So there must be a swimming pool around here somewhere, I imagine. Okay, so that's about the end of this road. We're going to now duck. We're going to carry on. We'll do one more block. See what else we've got down here. And then we're going to try and find our way back to the bridge to get our way back over to GaoYao and back home for dinner. So here we have clothing shop. So jewelry, more clothing shop. We have a bakery over on the other side, and more hairdressers. Okay, so this looks like this area is largely sort of clothing and the like. Then, okay, mobile phone shop, so you can get your mobile phone fixed, repairs in there, plus buy phone accessories. And then there's a few food places down here as well. But yeah, a lot of it is clothing shops down this end. Okay. On the left, what's this? Baby Le. So I don't know if maybe that's a kindergarten or a childcare place in there. Just waiting for this car to figure out what he's doing. Okay, we'll walk around behind him. So, over on the left we have air conditioning, fan, hot water systems and the like. MetaLife. Okay, so MetaLife is another supermarket. Looks like a pharmacy next door to the supermarket. Chicken place, so fried chicken and the like. And then another bakery over there. And then over on our right here, okay, more clothing places and food places. Okay, here's a fruit juice stall. So they'll have all the fruit, they'll freshly squeeze all the juices and give you a freshly made fruit juice in there. Okay, where was this? Okay, here we have ZhaoQing coffee. So they're springing up everywhere as well. They're becoming much more, Oh, that's terrible. Smell of coffee. I can't stand coffee. Yeah, they're popping up everywhere. They're sort of the Starbucks, I guess, of China. Okay, here we have kids' clothing. More kids' clothing. So, yeah, the plan in the future, now that we're sort of past all these restrictions, I want to start coming over, spending a bit more time over here in GaoYao. I know a few people that live over here, and we want to try and find some of the more interesting places. There's meant to be a really good go-kart track out here somewhere, which I'm hoping we can go and find one day and make a video out there. But we'll see how we go with that one. Okay, we can see the street. So we're heading towards dinner time. The street's starting to get a bit more busy. A few more people out here as people are starting, finishing school. And okay, here we have another kindergarten. So they're just, kindergarten's just closing. So yeah, a lot more people hitting the streets as sort of school time is over and coming out looking for food and stuff. So a lot of people don't really bother cooking a whole lot here. Food is cheap enough, and even you go to a big restaurant, even in a big restaurant, food's relatively cheap. So I know people who don't cook at all. They just eat out every night or get food delivered because it costs next to nothing and so much easier. Okay, another of these bits and pieces shops, more clothing shops. We look over on the other side of the road, shoes, more clothing. It's a bedding shop, more shoes. Got a jewellery place here on our right. Oh, and that song, I don't know if you could hear that through the microphone. Every time I go and play music in a bar, that's sort of one of the songs that gets played all the time. It's a very, very popular song here in China. I'll have to try and find the lyrics for it and translate it, find out what the song's actually about one of these days, because I am hearing it all the time. Okay, we're getting busier and busier as we come down here. Okay, so there's lots of people down this end. So here we have, this is a big children's clothing store. I've been in here before, so this actually goes up to the second floor up there. You can see in the window lots of kids' clothes. Yeah, that's a really big store. Then, so down here, this sort of shopping area carries on down to the right here, and then carries on through. So down here we have a market, so fruit, vegetables, you'll be able to buy your meat and stuff in there. Very popular. Having said that a lot of people don't cook, there are still a lot of people who do. I mean, the population's that big that even with a lot of people not cooking, there's still enough population left over that these markets, like this is a big market in here, I can see. We might have to go and have a look in there one day. Yeah, even with a lot of people not cooking, they still probably a lot of the older folk would probably still cook. I think a lot of the sort of younger people and who are, as their lives improve, as they get better incomes and stuff, they just don't bother cooking. They don't bother learning. So yeah, they're happy just to order out and stuff. So who knows, you know, things may well, as the sort of older population die off in the future, there's every chance that maybe maybe just buying food, ordering takeaways and stuff just becomes the normal thing to do here. Certainly well on its way. Now I think this in front of us here, the road in front of us, is that heading up to where we want to go? So we're basically heading back now towards the river. And we're going to go and find that bridge back over this end near our school and head back home. It's time to head home, go and find some food. I am going to cook. I'm not going to order out tonight, or maybe I won't cook. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. So anyway, that's basically a look through our shopping street here in GaoYao. We'll definitely be back in the future to show you some more stuff over here. It is a place I do want to explore more in the future. I haven't spent near enough time out here, and yes, that's something I'm going to have to change, because it is a cool place. I do enjoy, every time I come out here, I do enjoy it very much. It is a good place to be. So, yeah, I don't know what we've got coming up next. I've sort of got a few ideas on videos to do, but what I'm going to do, I'm not sure. I'll run across this road here. We've got a green light, but people are ignoring it. Yeah, so do all the stuff, like, comment, share, subscribe. If you've got things you would like to see in the future, things you'd like to learn about life here, let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Give me ideas for the sorts of content you'd like to see. So, yeah, take care everybody. I'm off home for dinner. We'll see you in the next one. Look after each other. And bye for now.